One jolly good day, Kirby was having a lovely stroll, until suddenly, he fell into the Great Cave Offensive. A massive, dangerous tunnel system, but what looked to be a nightmare in Dreamland in actuality was a great opportunity to make some bank, cause this cave was filled to the brim with treasure. And today we're gonna find the value of each item in US dollars to determine just how much money Kirby made from this treasure hunt, assuming he nabbed everything. Upon collecting an item, the game will note its worth in gold. This amount can reach into the hundreds of thousands, which looks impressive but is ultimately meaningless until we can find an item that clearly tells us what the conversion rate of gold to dollars is. An item that leaves no ambiguity whatsoever and makes everything as clear as possible. Does such an item even exist in this cavern? Well, yeah. Collected in the crystal area, we have a dime, the perfect item to answer all of our questions. A dime, according to the game, is valued at 10 gold, and since we know a dime is 10 cents, that means that the conversion rate for gold to US currency is pretty straightforward. 1 gold equals 1 cent. In addition to the dime, we also have the $100 coin, which is equivalent to 10,000 cents. So if our conversion of 1 cent to 1 gold is correct, then this $100 coin should be worth 10,000 gold. And it is, thus making it so we can accurately label every item's value in real-world currency. Before we start, I should clarify that we'll be venturing through the Kirby Superstar Ultra version of the Great Cave Offensive, not the original Kirby Superstar one. But don't worry, most of the treasures are shared between the two versions anyways, and anytime there is a difference between them, we'll take a quick peek at the OG title. Once we reach the end of our expedition, we'll have totals for each version. We begin our journey with the gold medal, worth 100 smackaroos. Take a guess which game this treasure's from. Kirby's Dream Course, the golf game. Sorry, I got impatient. Gold coin, worth 10 bucks. It looks to be a koban, a coin from Edo period feudal Japan. You'd probably recognize it as the coin on Meow's forehead. Whip, 68 bucks. In the Japanese version of this game, it's called Indy's Whip, as in Indiana Jones's whip. Interesting how the American reference was left out of the American release of the game. Copyright issues, perhaps? Crystal ball, worth 2,000 bucks. Aren't you lucky, cat? 5 bucks. It's known as the Maneki Neko, a common Japanese luck charm, which makes sense considering how lucky you'd have to be to find all this treasure. Then again, I'm sure most of you watching right now would probably perish if you had to traverse this cavern on your own. Seiryu sword, 1,420 bucks. The Seiryu is an azure dragon from Chinese mythology who represents the season of spring and eastern direction. Keep an eye out for references to different seasons, by the way, because there are quite a few here. Screw attack, 800 bucks. While that's nice and all, I can't even begin to fathom how this thing ended up in a place like this. And 800 bucks? That's it? The screw attack is an incredible piece of technology. To value it at a mere 800 bucks is insulting. If I was Samus, then I'd be more upset at this price tag than anything else. But wait, as if Samus hadn't already been disrespected enough, the Kirby Superstar version of this item was mislabeled as the Screwball. The Screwball? That just sounds so stupid! Echigo candy, 80 bucks. Echigo was an old province in north-central Japan that is now currently part of the Niigata prefecture. Phantom mask, 2,780 bucks. The one we're looking at, the English version of Kirby Superstar Ultra, is a reference to Phantos, which are floating enemies from Super Mario Bros. 2. The English version of Kirby Superstar calls this item the Zebra Mask, which isn't a reference to spooky spirits at all, but just an animal, based on the mask being black and white, I guess. And if you thought things couldn't get any more simplified, then you were wrong, because the Japanese version of Kirby Superstar called this item the White and Black Mask. It's like they didn't even try to come up with anything. Like, why would you waste a treasure slot for such a basic sounding item? Starstone, worth 821 bucks. In Japanese, it's called Star Drip. These fangs, 73 $33. It could potentially be a thing from the Fire Lion boss, but upon closer inspection, it's probably from your mom. Bandana, $19.90. The smooth brain reference here is that it's the bandana from the fighter copy ability, but in Japanese, this item's called the Commando Bandana, a potential reference to the Rambo film series, where the protagonist can be seen wearing none other than a red bandana. Season's Heart, $2,500. It's a combination of the springtime, summertime, autumn time, and wintertime treasures that can only be found in the Kirby Superstar version of this cave. I assume the devs just decided to combine all the 4 treasures into one in this remake so that they could throw a few more varied treasures into the mix. In Kirby Superstar, the treasure you find here isn't the Season's Heart, but Springtime, which is also worth $2,500. Here's the dime we found earlier, which we already know is 10 cents, but take a look at this glass slipper from Cinderella, worth $1,200. Don't let that price tag fool you though, cause we're getting ripped off. Kirby Superstar's treasure here was called glass slippers, so it looks like we lost a slipper on the transition to Kirby Superstar Ultra. What happened to the other one? Goblet, $8. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say this, just like Indy's whip from earlier, is also a reference to the Indiana Jones franchise, specifically the Holy Grail in The Last Crusade. Saucepan, 10 cents. You couldn't pay me to take this thing. Brass Knuckle, $200. People are gonna call me crazy for saying this, but I am fairly confident that this is a certified JoJo's reference. But ZoomZike, it's just a brass knuckle. How can a mere brass knuckle be a JoJo's reference? Hear me out, okay? In 2006, Sakurai, creator of Kirby and developer of Kirby Superstar, had a column in Famitsu's 178th volume where he talked about, you guessed it, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here he calls the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga a masterpiece, said it holds up as a genius piece of work, and, most important of all, hones in on praising part 2 of the manga in particular, which ran from November 2nd, 1987 and ended on March 20th, 1989, 7 years before the release of Kirby Superstar. Aside from him having immaculate taste in media, it should be known that one of the first major battles in part 2 is against a man that uses nothing other than brass knuckles, and they both have the same color. Granted, the ones in game don't have the spikes in them like the one in JoJo's, but look at this, Amber Rose, $221, Fish Fossil, $82.50, and Beast Fossil, $242.20. Can an archaeologist or someone in that kind of field tell me if these prices are accurate? I thought fossils, especially ones that look as clear as these are, would go for a lot more, like in the thousands, millions even, but here they're seemingly getting lowballed in the hundreds. Maybe they're just really common in the Kirby universe. Machine parts, $1,213. This is one of the pieces of the Hydra, a legendary air ride machine from Kirby Air Ride. You know, the one that pokes you in the butt and one-shots you. In Kirby Superstar, the treasure found here is instead the nunchucks, worth $554.80. That price tag may sound absolutely ridiculous, but it makes a lot more sense when you look at the Japanese version of the treasure. It's called Lee's Nunchucks, referencing the martial artist Bruce Lee himself. Bucket, $2. That M ain't just for show. This bucket's from the Super Famicom game Mario and Wario, which ended up being a Japan exclusive title, which I'm not too upset about because the gameplay here doesn't look the most thrilling, to say the least. But Sakurai did say it was excellent in a trophy description for this bucket in Super Smash Bros. Melee, so I'm sure it's just fine. Power Paintbrush, $2,220. That is an extremely low cost for what this paintbrush is capable of. It's clearly Dracia's magical paintbrush from Kirby Canvas Curse, and in that game, it's used to turn all of Dreamland, including its inhabitants, into paintings. Except for Kirby, who was out on a stroll, I guess. Not only that, but take a look at what it does here. Kirby touches the rainbow brush, and it transports to you an array of light. That's right, this brush that can shape the land into paintings and alter beings' anatomy can also dimension hop. And $2,200. The treasure found here in Kirby Superstar is Summertime, worth $2,500. $100 coin. This treasure is worth Oh, sorry about that. The correct answer is $100. Dummy! Ancient gem, $680. It looks to be a Magatama, a mythical gem. In the Japanese version of the game, it's called the Magatama of Flame, which is fitting considering our next treasure is the Falcon helmet, worth $410. Screw the attack! How did Captain Falcon lose his helmet in here? Does he have multiple? I sure hope so. He ain't never getting this thing back. Cell phone, $402.10. Specifically, it's the cell phone from Kirby in the Amazing Mirror that lets Kirby summon his companions. The treasure found here in the Kirby Superstar version is infinitely less cool, considering it's a dud worth 30 cents. A defective bomb, I guess? Not really worth your time to tell you the truth, Mirror, $5,000. Funny how this item's coming right after the item that references Kirby in the Amazing Mirror, huh? Tut mask, $1,600. It belonged to an ancient Egyptian pharaoh by the name of oh God! Broken bowl, 50 cents. In Kirby Superstar, it's called a rice bowl. Guess someone didn't enjoy their meal? I don't know why this thing is here. 3-star cane, $2,220. It's clearly DeRoche's triple-star cane from Kirby Squeak Squad, with similar abilities to that of the Star Rod. In Kirby Superstar, the treasure found here is the best season of the year, Autumn Time, worth $2,500 at its market value, but so much more in my heart. Unicorn's Horn, $803. Star Tiara, $4,082. Guess we're just putting stars on everything now, huh? Warrior Shield, $500. Why does Sakurai like stars so much anyways? Koopa Shell, $8. Just 8? Think about it. It'd be one thing if it was just a normal turtle shell, but this is a Koopa Shell. I'd pay a lot more than $8 to have an authentic Koopa Shell, wouldn't you? In the Kirby Superstar version, it's called a turtle shell. So I guess they decided to be more on the nose with the reference in the remake. Maybe that explains the low price. The Falchion, worth $3,250. Dang, someone must have really hated Fire Emblem to steal Marth's sword and Marth, it wasn't me! Marth, please! Yo, is that Mr. Saturn from Earthbound worth $1,200? Why are we pricing these living beings? Armor, $2,120. It's just armor. Treasure box, $1,000. Specifically, it's a Senryo Bako. Sen means 1,000, Ryo is an old Japanese currency, and Bako means box. So this is a box to store 1,000 Ryo. The game pricing this box at $1,000 is a cute nod to it being a 1,000 Ryo box and nothing more. These currencies are not equal to one another. Mannequin, $30. I think Sakurai threw this in as a treasure because he likes to use little mannequins as references for posing characters for video games. Gold crown, $5,280. In Japanese, it's called the Queen Crown, but here it's just called the Gold Crown. What happened to the Queen? King's Cape, $5,080. Okay, wait, so the Queen Crown was changed to Gold Crown in the English version, but King's Cape stays as King's Cape? Okay, well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that it looks eerily similar to King Dedede's cape, just without the white fur on the inside. Model ship, $8,000. Wow, they go for that much? In Japanese, it's called the Floating Moonboat, which is a much more understandable item to price at $8K. Sun Ring, $8,000 as well. Both it and the model ship are found on platforms connected to a tower, so they're clearly meant to be cute mirrors of one another. Gold watering can, $2,000, an item belonging to the Animal Crossing series. Nice attention to detail to place it right next to some grass just waiting to be watered. In Kirby Superstar, the treasure found here is instead Wintertime for $2,500. Katana, worth $9,900, the most expensive of all the treasures that can be found in both versions of the Great Cave Offensive. You'd think that it would have been one of the gold items, but nope, swords are cooler and therefore more valuable, I guess. Charm, $80. In Japanese, this treasure is called an amulet instead. Either way, it holds an Ankh, which is representative of eternal life in ancient Egypt where— No, not again, please! Shiny bamboo, $6,000. In Japanese, it's called the Bamboo Cutter's Daughter. No doubt a reference to the tale of the bamboo cutter, a well-known Japanese folk tale.
Kong's Barrel, $15. In Kirby Superstar, He's dead!
Tire, 11 bucks, fittingly found at the end of a wheelie section. In Japanese, it's called a cart tire, turning it into a slick Mario Kart reference. Spirit Charm, 785 bucks, found way up in the stars where the spirits reside. Lamia scale, 128 bucks, simply just a scale of a mythical creature, Lamia. Christmas tree, 400 bucks. Wow, that is an expensive Christmas tree. This thing had better be impressive for it to cost that much. And the platinum ring here is 400 bucks as well. So the Christmas tree is the same cost as a ring made of platinum? Am I going crazy? These two items should most certainly be different prices, right? Pegasus wing, 428 bucks. It's one of the 3 sacred treasures in Kid Icarus. Guess Sakurai's fascination with the series started pretty early. Raccoon doll, 81 bucks and 50 cents. Just try not to rack up any debt. Shell whistle, 820 bucks. Found underwater, as you might have expected. Orichalcum, 5,120 bucks. It's spelled as Orichalcun in Kirby Superstar, but looks to be the same treasure. Nevertheless, it's an Atlantean stone that is extremely hard and valuable in most games it appears in. But we finally arrived at the final treasure found in both versions of the Great Cave Offensive, the Triforce, at a whopping $8,000. I know I sound rather unenthused about thousands of dollars, but it's honestly laughable when you think about it. This thing straight up grants wishes, and you're telling me that if I put it up on eBay at the proper price for such an item with a wish-granting ability, that it wouldn't sell? Yeah, okay, I wish we could just get to the results already. All 60 treasures have been gathered and properly converted into real-world currency. It is now time to see what our haul looks like for both Kirby Superstar Ultra and the original Kirby Superstar. When all's said and done and everything's totaled up, it comes out to $99,999.90 for both titles. Both titles! This more than anything else surprised me. You'd think that they'd be different considering they, had some different treasures with different price tags, but nope, same total. Speaking of the total, it's honestly a lot less than what I was hoping for. Think about all of the monsters, harsh environments, and death-defying obstacles you have to endure as you journey through this cave. And for what, not even $100,000? I guess snatching the Triforce at the end could be worth risking your life for, but other than that, it ain't really worth it for me. I'd probably die trying, so I'ma just let Kirby have fun with his small fortune. I'm sure he'll make the most of it. Thanks for watching, consider becoming a member of the channel, and I'll see you next time. Take care.